That is 4 games played and 4 wins by Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso to start off this league campaign in 2025-2026. Today they go into Anoeta and defeat Real Sociedad 2-1, down to 10 men for the majority of that game. Obviously, Housen got a red card, which we'll talk about, very controversial. We'll talk about that. But getting a win at Anoeta down to 10 men, they lost Housen in the first half. That's very impressive. And look, Real Sociedad are not the same team that they were over the past couple years. They're just not the same team. They lost the 2 biggest figures that club had over the summer. Subimendi, their best player over the past couple of years, as we know, he went to Arsenal and today actually scored a brace. So we know how good Subimendi is. He was a key piece for them and he left. And Emmanuel Wasil, he got them to the UCL. I mean, that coach, man, he was such a great coach for them and he's no longer there. So losing Subimendi and losing Wasil, that was going to affect the team when we're seeing it. The table reflects it. They're missing those 2 guys because they're sitting 17th right now. They've picked up 2 points out of a possible 4. They're just not the same team. That coach is not as good as Wasil, and those players are not as good without Subimendi there. They need Subimendi, and he's no longer there. He's not coming back. So Real Sociedad is not a great team, is my point. They're not going to be contending for Europe this season, in my opinion, for a European spot. But Anoeta, as every La Liga fan knows, it's always a tough stadium to go to. Barca fans, we know that. We dropped points here last year, so it's always a tough stadium to go to. And for Xabi Alonso to go in there with 10 men and get the win, it's very impressive, man. This Xabi Alonso Real Madrid is way different than the Ancelotti Real Madrid. It's so much different. Not just in the way they go forward, because it's so much better, but also we're seeing it defensively. Their structure is so much better. Their counter-pressing is, I mean, it's great. They're playing some good football right now. That was a good game from Real Madrid, honestly. I know they only won 2-1, but if Housen doesn't get sent off, to me, they put 3 or 4 past Real Sociedad because they were not doing anything in that first half. And obviously, we saw a different lineup from Xabi Alonso. He's not giving Real Madrid fans a steady diet of anything. Every game he changes the lineup. He adds a new player in. He takes a player out. Today, Ceballos started on the right. And obviously, not Ceballos. Yeah, no, Brahim started on the right side. And Ceballos started in the midfield over Fede Valverde, who was playing for Uruguay. The trip from South America to Madrid. He probably just needs some time to recover a little bit more. And, that's why he didn't start him. But anyway, Ceballos in the midfield next to Tchouaméni. And Brahim Diaz on the right instead of Rodrigo or Mastantuono. Which was, to me, kind of like when I first saw it, I was like, that's kind of odd, seeing Brahim Diaz in the starting lineup. But you know what? He inserted him, and I didn't think Brahim Diaz played well, but he didn't make many mistakes, which was obviously good. But in that first half, we saw the first goal, of course, courtesy of Kylian Mbappe, a bad back pass by the Real Sociedad player. Mbappe is running on that, and the finish is just beautiful, man. On his right foot, it's a beautiful finish. Mbappe, bro, he came out with some comments this week during the international break talking about how football, he hopes his son is not good at football, doesn't like football like Mbappe does because he thinks the business of football can be kind of ugly. I'm not quoting him word for word, but kind of something like that. And that, like he said something to that extent. And it almost seems like Mbappe is talking about his football ability as a curse, which is kind of crazy because we would all dream of having that ability. But man, this guy, he's so good. Like this curse that he has, it's ridiculous, bro, because he's so fucking good. He's back to being the old Mbappe. He's back to being the old Mbappe. That finish was ridiculous. The speed that he showed on that play, it's crazy, man. We all thought he was washed at the start of last season. I think every Barca fan was so happy we were seeing him play bad. We were thinking Madrid made the worst signing ever. And he's just back to being the same old Mbappe. He loves scoring against Real Sociedad, by the way. Going back to his days at PSG, he loves scoring against this team. He scored a brace against them last year. He always scores against Real Sociedad. Always scores against them. And today, it was no different. That was a great goal from Mbappe, man. And he's just looking like a scary player right now. And then, the most eventful other thing that happened in the first half before the second goal that Madrid scored was, between the first goal and the second goal, Madrid got a red card. Dean Housen, their star boy center back, one of the best signings of the season so far. He's been so good for them. He got sent off. Real Madrid lose the ball deep in Real Sociedad's box. There's a counter-attack, and Housen brings down a player. As you guys know, I try to be objective on this channel. I didn't think that was a red card. Obviously, the red card comes because the ref thinks Housen is the last man, because that play in and of itself, that is not a red card offense. He barely touches him. That's not a red card offense. If there was 4 players behind the ball and Housen makes that foul, it's a tactical foul. I mean, and there's a counterattack, it's a tactical foul. It's a yellow card. But the ref gave him a red because he interpreted it as Housen being the last man. I slowed down the frame. I'll put a screenshot right now next to me. I'll put a screenshot, the one that the picture that I took. Housen is not the last man. Okay, he's just not the last man. Militao is ahead of him. Clearly ahead of him. You can see it on the screenshot that I'm showing right now. Just so you guys know, I'm not making this shit up. I just went back and watched it. And I didn't think Housen deserved a red card for that. Because again, the foul in and of itself is not a red card offense. It's just simply not a red card offense. What gives him the red card is the fact that the ref thinks he's the last man. And to me, he wasn't the last man. That's just the way that I viewed it. So again, people might disagree. They might think I'm dick-sucking Madrid. I'm just giving you guys my opinion. I don't think it was a foul. I didn't think it was a red, sorry. It was a foul, but it wasn't a red because Housen to me wasn't the last man. And I'm showing it with my screenshot. But anyway, Madrid goes down to 10 men. Losing Housen is a big loss for them because he's by far and away their best center back. And we know Madrid are already thin there because Rudiger just came out that he's going to be injured for 3 months. So they're already thin at center back and they lose Housen, their best center back. Under Ancelotti, I feel like this team would have just sat behind the ball and done nothing. But this team, bro, they didn't just sit back. They didn't wait. Like they weren't just trying to counter. That was a great play. For that second goal, that was a great play. Mbappe does wonderful there. Like Mbappe does wonderful there to get into the box, and he feeds Arda Güler, and Arda with a great finish. That connection, man, they're thriving together. Mbappe and Arda Güler, they're playing really well. And you know, that was a great goal. A great finish from Arda, who today was amazing in that first half. Man, Mbappe, Arda were so good in that first half, just dominating the game basically going forward. And they got that goal. Everybody was celebrating with Mbappe, and Arda Güler is just running by himself. Just, like, I always feel bad because everybody's celebrating the guy who, you know, gave the pass, not the one that scored the goal. So Arda's just like expecting his whole team to be behind him running, and then they're all with Mbappe. So I found that funny. But anyway, that's probably just me. But my point is, they got that goal, and it was 2-0 going into halftime. And, you know, we all expected Madrid in the second half to, you know, take off some attacking pieces and bring on some defensive pieces, just kind of hold the lead, because you don't want to risk it either. You don't want to sit back behind the ball. But once you got that second goal, you can just kind of, you know, Xabi Alonso can just tell his men to just sit back, and if we get a counter attack, we can just go at him. And in the second half, I thought they played a lot more conservative. They obviously brought up Brahim Diaz. They brought on Asensio. They brought on Carreras. They brought on, like, they took up attackers and midfielders for center backs. So Xabi Alonso was just trying to just stay back and, you know, not concede. And they nearly didn't concede until they got that penalty. Obviously, a handball from Dani Carvajal, a clear handball. I mean, his hand is extended. He's going to the ground. His hand is extended. It's a clear handball. Anybody complaining about that, you don't know what you're talking about. That is a clear handball. And Oyarzabal converts the penalty. At that point, it was 2-1. And I'll tell you guys this. Real Sociedad had a lot of chances in that game. A lot of goofy plays that happened where it hits the post, and it hits the post twice. We saw that one where, you know, it was this close to going in. I was basically celebrating like it was a goal, and it wasn't a goal. There was another one in the second, also in the second half, where the cross came in and Courtois caught it, but you know, the player runs into him, so he drops it, and it's like it's just ricocheting in the box. I thought one of those chances that Real Sociedad was going to actually score. I was really hoping that they would score because they were looking close in that second half. I'm not going to lie, they were kind of putting a lot of pressure on Madrid. Madrid just sitting back, hoping not to concede. But they couldn't get the second goal. Obviously, it ends 2-1 for Real Madrid. I thought Real Madrid, the standout players were Mbappe, who got that goal and got the assist. He was simply wonderful in that first half, and he was so good. In the second half, too, he was really, really good for them. I thought Tchouaméni had a great game, too. I thought Tchouaméni, once Real Madrid went down to 10 men, his defensive responsibilities obviously increased, and I thought he handled them really well. I thought he played a great game. I thought Carreras had a great game, too. I thought Carreras had a really, really good game. He's been, like I said, a revelation for that team. He's been one of their best signings already. Just a guy who came in and instantly improved that position. Just instantly improved it. You don't need to develop him or anything. He's already a proven player. You know, he played at Benfica, as we know. He's played at big clubs. He comes from La Castilla. And you put him at left back, and he just instantly is impacting the game in so many positive ways. And I also think Militao played well. Militao played really well today. Obviously, losing his partner early on that game in Hausen, I thought he handled himself really well in the back line. And Courtois made a couple big saves as well. We know how good Thibaut is. I didn't think Vini had his best game, to be completely honest with you guys. He had obviously a great game the previous week and the week before when he came off the bench against Oviedo. I didn't think he was good today. He was losing the ball a lot. It's just, I think this is the new norm now with Vinicius Jr. Before, we just saw a good game from him every single week. Now it's kind of more inconsistent. There's a lot of peaks and a lot of valleys. So hopefully he can get that, like, hopefully for his sake, he can get that consistency back, because when you see a player of that caliber, you know he has a potential in him. It's just like you see him up and down. It's a little bit odd. But yeah, man, Vini, I thought that he didn't play his best game. I didn't think Brahim was that good, to be completely honest with you guys, when he played. I thought he was kind of non-existent. It's weird, man. We're not seeing Rodrigo get into this game. Like, once Hausen went off, I was not expecting to see Rodrigo, because I think Xabi Alonso was just hoping, hey, man, I'm not going to bring in any attackers. This is going to be a game where I'm going to bring in defenders and just hope not to concede. Just know, like, let's hold this lead and get the 3 points. So I wasn't expecting to see Rodrigo once Hausen got sent off and Madrid were down to 10 men. But it's kind of odd, man. You have this guy, Rodrigo, sitting on the bench, and does he not want to play the left wing anymore? I know people are talking about how Rodrigo refuses to play the left wing. I don't know what that's about. I think that if you're a club like Real Madrid, you kind of just gotta be happy with what you have. Sorry, you gotta be happy with what you have. So you can't be picking and choosing. That team is star-studded, man. There's so much quality in that front line. You can't say, I'm only gonna play if you play me at right wing. Nah, man. If he chucks you in at left wing, fuck it. If he puts you in at center back, Rodrigo, if you want to play, you gotta take that opportunity, in my opinion. So I don't know what that's about, but I understand the frustration when you're not getting played in position and people are saying you're playing bad because you're getting played out of position. But, you know, at the same time, you got to make the most out of your opportunity, and that's my view on it, but we'll see. But yeah, man, to me, overall, I think Real Madrid today, it was a testament. It was a statement win for them, because, you know, Ancelotti, this, like I said, like, no disrespect to Ancelotti, but we saw with Brazil, man, he kind of looks washed. Brazil lost to Bolivia. He kind of looks washed. He's just not, like, I think Xabi Alonso, they needed something new. And we saw the first couple games, it wasn't looking that pretty. The game against Mallorca, the games, they were winning, but it wasn't looking that pretty. Now it's looking a lot better. It's looking like this team is finally finding an identity under Xabi Alonso. And, you know, with the talent that they have, Real Madrid, that's scary, man. If they find an identity and they actually start playing well under this coach, it's going to be scary. But yeah, man, I'm not worried. I think Barca will get the win tomorrow. We know Lamine Yamal is out. I made a video about that. If you guys want to go check it out, it's on my page. I'm doing a double upload today. So we know Lamine Yamal is out, so we'll see how that obviously affects Barca, but I think they'll get the win. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Real Madrid beating La Sociedad 2-1 in match week 4 of La Liga. You guys please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. For the best graphic tees in the game, check out the final thread. The link is in the description down below. And yeah, man, I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the Barca game upload, of course. Peace out.